Have you ever heard of the tragedy of Darth Maul, the assassin?
No.
I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. It's a Sith legend. Darth Maul was a Dark Lord of the Sith, so powerful and so cunning. He can use the Force to take on two Jedi, and even, when sliced in half, keep himself from dying. Good day, lightsaber addicts. As you could tell, today's Star Wars Sunday is about Darth Maul. And that's pretty exciting. So what happened to him after he got defeated by Obi-Wan on Naboo? And this probably will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen the Clone Wars or Rebels, you might want to watch that before. But if you don't care about spoilers, then keep on going and watching this. So, the first thing is, how did he lose to Obi-Wan Kenobi, a Padawan?
Absolutely ridiculous.
It is. It is. I mean, he defeated Qui-Gon Jinn, who had known Form 4, and that's understandable. Obi-Wan also knew Form 4, and he put up a good fight, but Maul got the best of him and pushed him down the shaft, and Obi-Wan was just holding on. But, I mean, even before he actually pushed off to jump over Maul, Maul knew. Maul knew something was going on. You could see it in his face that he knew Kenobi was up to something. He knew he was using the Force. So when Obi-Wan went up, I mean, he could have easily sliced through Obi-Wan.
I mean, I get why they did it, right? The movie is the movie. But given that Obi-Wan's just a Padawan and Darth Maul's been training for God knows how long,
Yeah.
there's just no way he should have lost.
No. No. And even if Obi-Wan somehow got over Maul like he did, Maul was using a saber staff, so his reflexes were superb. He could have easily blocked that and not just turn around and go, duh.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's,
no.
I can't see that. I have a hard time believing that.
I mean, I guess we could chalk it up that Darth Maul was just overconfident. That he could just. I mean, he did take out Qui-Gon, a couple minutes before, so.
Yeah, I guess he felt all good about that and thought Padawan's no problem, but I still can't see it. I think if it was like, excuse me, if that was totally real, I don't think he would have got it. But anyways, so what happened after Naboo?
Yeah.
Well, Maul fell, as you probably saw, but he ended up grabbing, I guess, a vent shaft and pulling himself up and into the junk pile on Naboo, and then was taken to a junk planet where he stayed for over 10 years by himself. And the only thing that kept him going was to have revenge on Obi-Wan Kenobi. Excuse me. That's the only thing that kept him alive. He did make spider legs.
Of all things, that's pretty cool, though.
That's pretty cool. It made him look really, really awesome. But he was like really crazy, like just out of his mind. He didn't have much of a memory left at that time. He knew he had needed revenge, though.
Yeah, I think that gave so much more to Darth Maul, though.
Yeah.
Giving him that crazy feel.
Yeah. And then his brother found him, Savage, which was cool. It was nice to have his brother Savage Opress in there, and searched for Maul using this little trinket. And when he did find him,
He's this crazy spider-legged creature.
Yeah, there's your brother.
Now I don't remember. Did he actually recognize his brother?
Who, Maul?
Did Maul recognize Savage?
I don't think at first.
No.
No.
Yeah. Over 10 years alone. Yeah, I think that would drive anybody to driving someone to complete insanity.
Yeah. I mean, just by yourself. Well, I think there was this like little snake thing that was feeding him and stuff and got the leftovers after. But yeah, by yourself with rage, he was just Whew, crazy. But anyways, like his brother did get him, brought him back to Dathomir, and Mother
Yeah,
Terizon,
something along those lines.
yeah, one of the mother of the Night Sisters. She's the one who restored Maul's memory and personality, put it back on track.
Thanks
Uh,
a lot for that.
yeah, and recreated some cyber legs for Maul. Yeah, which was pretty cool. Looked like a little toddler at first, couldn't stand,
Okay.
but then he ran pretty good
Yeah.
afterwards though. I like
Mhm.
he was free. He was free running
Yeah,
around.
cyborg legs,
Yeah,
spider legs. I still have to go with the spider legs
the
though.
spider legs made it look a lot more creepier and
Yeah.
horror movie-ish.
It kind of made me think of, how Grievous
Yeah,
crawls around, right? It just gives a creepy feel
it
to it.
does. Yeah, yeah. That's what I find with Grievous too. It's just it looks like a bug of some sort and just
Yeah.
creeping around. And yeah. So, but yeah, he gets new legs, and of course, the first thing is revenge on Obi-Wan Kenobi. Uh, yeah. So he needs to bring Obi-Wan out of hiding. Well, he's not really in hiding, but he's at the Jedi Temple.
Yeah.
So he contacts the Jedi Temple and shows that he's not playing, and he ends up killing a whole bunch of civilians
It's
on the
pretty
planet.
gutsy.
Yeah, yeah, and that's that's how I mean Obi-Wan wants to go. Mace Windu says, I don't think it's a good idea. It's a trap." Well, of course it's a
Oh,
trap.
obviously.
Yoda didn't even want him to really go either, but Obi-Wan just said like he had to finish it, and
Yeah.
he took him on before. He can do it again. Okay, I mean if he was a Padawan at the time and did beat Maul,
Mm.
and Maul, after 10 or whatever years, hasn't been training, and Obi-Wan has, you would definitely think it would be pretty easy
Yeah.
for
He
Obi-Wan
should
to do
definitely
it.
have that chance now.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so Obi-Wan ends up going to the planet and doesn't realize though that Maul has a brother, and Savage just beats the crap
Hence
out of
the
Obi-Wan.
trap, right?
That's right, the trap. Trap is sprung,
Yeah.
and that's it. Obi-Wan gets captured and end up on a spaceship. But Asajj Ventress wants revenge on Savage for leaving her and not being her apprentice
Mm.
anymore. So she ends up boarding the ship too,
She
and
seems to help the Jedi a lot more
a
than
little
she
bit
cares
more
to
than
admit.
yeah, a little bit more than a bad guy should.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll talk about her another day for
Yeah.
sure, because that's one of your favorites also.
She definitely has an interesting story.
Yeah. So she joins forces, gives Obi-Wan one of her sabers because Maul has Obi-Wan's saber, and they fight Maul and Savage, and they make actually a really good team.
They do, and I gotta say, with Obi-Wan being a Jedi, Red does actually look good
It
when
did.
he's using her saber.
It did. I think Obi-Wan would have made a great Sith if
Yeah.
his personality was that.
Mm-hmm.
He could have made it, I think. At least the color looked pretty decent on him.
Yeah.
And anyways, they were just too powerful though for both of
Yeah.
them to combine. Which I could see Savage. Savage just uses pure strength and
Yeah.
power, but Obi-Wan and Maul were going at it, and I guess Maul just really made Obi-Wan really upset, mentioning Qui-Gon Jinn,
Yeah.
and he just kind of Obi-Wan just lost it and just
Mm-hmm.
started lashing out, and he just couldn't do it anymore. You would think
Saying,
he would be able to though after 10 years of practicing
yeah,
and Jedi
you'd
training.
think, but again, once someone starts instigating you with the fact that they killed your master, I mean, I think anybody would just snap.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's all right, Obi-Wan. We forgive you this time. So they actually, Savage and Obi-Wan escape on the ship afterwards and leave Savage and Maul just in the depths of space and with not much life support or food or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the end of season 4 ends of the Clone Wars, because this is the ending of season 4, and but Maul does come back with Savage in season 5 of the Clone
Hmm.
Wars, which is pretty cool. And but today we're just going to end that here. So part 2 will be all about Maul, Savage, uh, on Mandalore,
Hmm.
and making an empire for himself.
Right.
And then what happens just before Order 66,
Mm.
after Order 66, what happens to him, and and during Rebels, what happens to him.
Mhm.
So that'll be next week's episode. So we appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and we hope that you have a wonderful day. Take Good day, lightsaber addicts. Today is part 2 of What Happened to Maul After the Phantom Menace. If you joined us last time, we have Maul and Savage Opress at the on the ship after their fight with Obi-Wan and Asajj Ventress, and yeah, they're just in space, chilling out, not sure what to do. So episode 1 of season 5 starts in this, and their ship is boarded by pirates. Hondo's pirates. If you've known Hondo before, funny pirate. I love him. Hondo's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
it's
He
pretty
has some
awesome.
good lines in this.
Yeah.
Um, so some of the pirates that actually board the ship change loyalties and going to fight for Maul and Savage. So Maul decides he's going to create an army. So he ends up that he's going to go to Hondo's lair and recruit him also, and the rest of the pirates.
Yeah.
So on the way there, Obi-Wan and Adi Gallia, Jedi Master Adi Gallia, end up tracking the ship,
Yeah.
and Obi-Wan calls Hondo, and Hondo's like, "Whoa, they're coming at us. What's going on? And this is your problem, Jedi." And Obi-Wan's, "Well, no matter what, they're coming for you. So,
Be ready.
get ready." Yeah. So, but Obi-Wan and Adi Gallia is, going to the planet to try and help them out. Join some forces together. So yeah, so they land, and of course Hondo's like to Maul and Savage and the rest of these pirates is like, "No, I'm not. This is my place. Then mine."
My
That's
place.
right. So no, I'm the leader. You guys, you can come back here. And the pirates are like, "No, no, we're gonna stay with," because I mean they think like Maul and Savage, right? They think
I
that
think they
they're
bribed him a little, the
broad,
pirates.
but I mean just having lightsabers, they think they're powerful Sith, obviously.
True
So
that.
let's stay on their good side.
Yeah.
They know all about that. So yeah, so Obi Wan ends up coming down to the planet with his buddy Jedi Master, and fight ensues. Maul and Savage, and unfortunately, Savage kills the other Jedi Master, Adi Gallia, and dies, and that's pretty sad.
Pretty
Obi
sad.
Wan took that pretty hard.
Yeah.
Um, gets her lightsaber and runs for it from the pirates and Maul and Savage.
Yes.
Um, then Obi-Wan says to Hondo, "You go, and I'll
Oh
and I'll and I'll, and
yeah.
I'll defend him." And Hondo's like, "What? Me go, and you stay here? Okay, sounds good."
That was really funny.
So yeah, so Maul and Savage against Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan eventually cuts Savage's arm off.
Yes.
Maul gets really mad at this, force pushes Obi-Wan and creates a cave-in.
Mhm.
And then Hondo ends up getting the loyalty back of the pirates.
Yep.
And so when Maul and Savage go back to the pirates and says, "Okay, let's do this," then the pirates are like, "I don't think so,"
Yep.
and start shooting at Maul and Savage, and Maul gets his cyber leg blown off,
Yep.
and yeah, ends up leaving in a spaceship. The pirates use a rocket, I think, to
I believe so. It was a
yeah,
rocket. Yep.
to blow up their ship, but they escape in an escape pod. they end up in space and their ship crashes, and Hondo is very happy to have the treasures of the Republic credits from that ship.
Yes.
So that's basically, and then you have Savage and Maul just drifting in space. No food, no water,
Nope.
just nothing. They start freezing.
Yeah.
So you don't really hear much about them until episode 14 of season 5, and it's a three-parter. And this I found was a really good three-parter episode.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, you have it's all about the Mandalorians, and Death Watch finds Maul and Savage almost dead,
Yeah.
and picks them up and revives them back at their home base.
Yeah.
Maul wakes up first and decides to have a plan to gain more of an army instead of just little pirates. Let's build up a big army. So they get
Mhm.
Death Watch and they fix up Savage. His arm gives him a cyber arm. And so they start making an army and they go to all the crime families like Black Sun, the
Yes.
Pikes, the Hutts.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and they all big one big army to try and take over Mandalore. And the 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 whole premise is that they're gonna get these crime families to invade Mandalore and then have Death Watch come and save them. Because Mandalore is all about peace right now with Satine in charge. So Death Watch is going to save them, gain the trust of the people, but in the background, Maul and Savage will be pulling the strings. So it'll be basically their planet. So that's how that goes. And it pretty much turns out exactly like that, except at the ending, Death Watch turns on Maul, or some of them, anyways. And Maul is upset. So he wants a fight for honor to rule the Death Watch. And of course, Maul does win,
Mhm.
gets the dark saber, which is awesome.
Super cool.
Hey, when you saw it, it was like pretty awesome. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so the dark saber comes into play then, and he gets to keep that,
Yeah.
and that was pretty cool. Satine is put in prison, but she ends up escaping and calling Obi-Wan Kenobi at the Jedi Council. The Jedi Council won't help, knows that the Republic won't help because it's a neutral system. And it's understandable. I
Yeah.
mean, you're neutral. They have bigger fish to fry anyways with the Separatists. So Obi-Wan borrows one of Anakin's ships that's
Oh,
falling
that was
apart.
so funny.
Just falling apart. And yeah, so Obi-Wan does eventually get there.
Eventually.
Yeah, and doesn't he get caught?
Well, I believe he didn't have the parking papers, so then he brings one of them in his ship and then takes his armor.
Oh yeah, takes his armor. That's right. Yes, but how does he get caught? How does he end up? Does don't they?
I believe he goes to.
Oh, doesn't he save Satine? And then he's
Yes,
taking
yes,
off, trying to take off into the ship, and then it gets blown up,
yeah,
and he just jumps out with Satine.
yes,
Okay, so yeah, so that happens, and so Satine and Obi-Wan are captured, and they're at with Darth Maul and Savage, and unfortunately, Maul kills Satine in front of Obi-Wan, and now I don't know if you've known from other episodes, but Satine and Obi-Wan had a thing.
he had a thing
Okay,
going.
they had a thing going. They both loved each other very much, but although Obi-Wan being a Jedi couldn't express that, Satine being in politics couldn't show that towards him. They obviously didn't do nothing about it, but they had a thing. So it
Yeah,
was kind of really sad actually. So yeah, Satine dies. Obi-Wan just loses. He just grieves, and he's put in prison. But on the way to prison, Satine's sister ends up, and a few rebels end up freeing him and basically getting him a ship to get the heck out of there.
yeah,
And that was pretty cool.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and yeah, so he goes back to the Jedi Council, and that's pretty much what you see of Obi-Wan. And then Maul feels the Force. the bad part of the Force, the dark side, and it's actually Darth Sidious that comes.
Yes.
Now this is awesome because Darth Sidious comes and sees that Maul has Savage as an apprentice and says, I think you're trying to betray me here. I already have another apprentice. So Savage and Maul fight Sidious, and Sidious just plays with them. I mean,
Yeah.
totally just plays with them.
Destroys them
Yeah,
completely. It was,
like Sidious has two sabers. He's just going at it. I mean, you never see Sidious with two sabers
that
before.
really surprised me.
Yeah.
Like, that was pretty cool.
That was. So basically, you have Savage and Maul fighting against Sidious. Sidious is just taking it, no problem. And then Sidious kills Savage,
Yeah.
and that sucked. Maul was pretty upset with that. Got extremely angry,
Yes.
and then
He pulls out the dark saber.
yeah, that's right. He
And
pulls out
starts
dark
fighting
saber.
him.
So it's dual sabering against dual sabering,
Yes.
and that was a pretty.
That was awesome.
That was cool. But unfortunately, Maul loses to that and is flung back and forth, up and down by Sidious, using the Force, electric, Force lightning,
Yeah.
and yeah, that was pretty much it. But Darth Sidious has plans for Maul,
Yep.
so we don't really see him after that in the Clone Wars. You don't hear much about him unless if just before Order 66, and if you read the Ahsoka novel, Maul is on Mandalore, and Ahsoka finds this out and gets her sabers back because she had quit being a Jedi, and gets her sabers back and goes with Captain Rex and some clone troopers to go fight. But then Order 66 happens, and Maul escapes because the clone troopers turn against Ahsoka and Captain Rex.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to see that in the Clone Wars season 7.
That's gonna be really cool.
Yes, for next year.
Excited for that.
That'll be on the Disney streaming service, which I still am hesitant about, but we'll see when it comes out if it's worth it or not. So next time, part 3 will be about Maul in the Star Wars Rebels TV series, and then that'll be it. So I think it's about 4 or 5 episodes he's in there. So we'll try and wrap it up next week. So thank you for watching this, and I'm hoping you enjoyed it. Take it easy. Have a great day. Don't forget to share and like, comment, all those things that everyone else says. Just go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
All right, that'd be cool. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Peace. Good day, lightsaber addicts. Today is part 3 and the final part of our What Happened to Darth Maul After the Phantom Menace series. So, again, spoilers for this as we're going into Star Wars Rebels. So at the ending of season 2, it's called Twilight of the Apprentice, part 1 and part 2, and that's where we see Maul again. Ezra Bridger ends up finding him. Maul is a old, decrepit guy, or seemingly anyways, when he meets Ezra. And then afterwards, Ezra and Maul decide to talk, and Ezra starts to trust him. And Maul wants him to help him get a Sith holocron in the temple on Malachor. So they end up going and to the temple. They raise one wall while the other one raises another. And then that one sets it down while the other one raises the next one. Until they get to a big ledge. And the only way to do it is if Ezra runs, jumps, and Maul force pushes him to get the holocron, and that's what happens. Now, when the holocrons start, everything starts crumbling along, and the base of the temple starts going up. Ezra's on top while Maul's back down here, and Maul wants Ezra to just jump and trust Maul. Trust someone you don't really know, someone who seems pretty weird, and could be not very good. But anyways, Ezra does trust him, jumps, and Maul manages to use the Force to grab him, but pulling on the holocron, sorry about that, and just as about to get the holocron, he actually does take Ezra, bring him up. And I think it's at that time that he wants to train Ezra as an apprentice. Yeah, Maul wants an apprentice again. So after they leave, they find Ahsoka and Kanan fighting the uh, seventh sister, and the fifth brother, and one more other. Some Inquisitors, anyways. And Ahsoka sees Maul and is like, yeah, I'm not trusting that guy. And Ezra's like, hey, he'll help us. Look, he's on our side. And Maul does help and fights off the Inquisitors. And they go flying off with their helicopter lightsaber blades. They really don't trust Maul, Kanan, and Ahsoka, but they play along anyways. Maul has a plan, and his grand plan is that Malachor is a weapon, and the holocron needs to be in this place at a specific point in the temple, and it could destroy, I guess, worlds and stuff. So him and Ezra end up taking one way up, and Ahsoka and Kanan go another way. And once they're starting to get there, the Inquisitors come back and they fight. And Ezra decides to go and keep going, and eventually does find the place to put the holocron to set up this doomsday machine. Meanwhile, Maul is back with Ahsoka and Kanan and ends up blinding Kanan with his lightsaber. Really terrible. Really bad. I almost cried at that point. He can't see anything. Maul thinks he's an easy target, but Kanan uses the Force along with his other senses and defeats Maul, throwing him over the edge. Then we don't really see Maul too much after that, except that he managed to find some sort of TIE fighter or enemy ship and gets off of Malachor. So that's basically all you really see of Maul in the ending of season 2 of Rebels. Now, Maul wants to come back to get the second holocron, which is what Kanan has, is a Jedi holocron, and he wants to put the two together. And if they're two to come together, you can find out anything in the universe, which is pretty cool. So, Maul kidnaps the crew of the Ghost and tells Kanan and Ezra to go get this Jedi holocron, and they had hit it with this big Force neutral user called Bendu. And they end up getting it and coming back, and Maul tries to kill Kanan out of the airlock, blasting it out there, but Kanan survives. And Ezra starts to, with Maul, help open up the holocrons. Now, when Kanan rescues the rest of his friends, comes back and tells Ezra to stop what he's doing. He'll turn him down to the dark side. And Ezra could see, he asked, what would destroy the Sith? What can we do? What happens? But Ezra decides to listen to Kanan, and the connection is broken, and the whole thing just kind of blows up. The Jedi holocron and the Sith holocron. Maul disappears, and he just escapes in his ship that he had at the beginning of the episode. But meanwhile, Ezra's getting closer and closer. He really is conflicted on whether he should join Maul and end the Sith. Obviously, Maul has other plans, and all he saw in his vision when the holocrons were connected was Obi-Wan Kenobi, because he ends up saying he lives. Because remember, this is after Order 66, and he thought Obi-Wan might be dead, but no, he's safe. So the next episode that he's in is in season 3, episode 10, and they go back to Dathomir, and Maul wants Ezra to go there to finish what they had started, so that way he could find out what and where he can find Obi-Wan Kenobi, and also find out when and where how to destroy the Sith too, because that's another thing that he wants. And Ezra does go there to uh, Danthromir, and Sabine and Kanan get possessed by the ghosts of Danthromir. They eventually get released, and Maul is able to get the answers that he needs and knows now that Obi-Wan Kenobi is on Tatooine. And Ezra's vision of what will destroy the Sith has twin sons. So again, he's on Tatooine. So it was kind of a short episode, but it was pretty good. And it's just it's getting closer and closer to Maul getting on Tatooine and finding Kenobi. And finally, in season 3, episode 19, called Twin Sons, this is the episode. This is the episode. And in any case, you have Ezra's being haunted by Maul, saying that Obi-Wan is like in trouble in that, and he's gonna get him. So Ezra decides to steal craft, and Chopper kind of tags along. Uh, ends up, I guess the Sand People end up blowing up his ship, but Maul kind of stops that because his thing is he wants Ezra to reach out to Obi-Wan to come get Ezra, and then Maul can attack. And that's pretty much what happens. Obi-Wan finds Ezra in the desert with Chopper, and then it's nighttime, and Chopper's being recharged. Ezra wakes up, and it's like, "Yo, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Cool. I've been looking for you. Can you help us?" And it's like, "No," basically. And so Ezra's kind of disappointed, but then Maul shows up, and Maul has this unwavering anger and revenge lust. So Obi-Wan says, "You go, Ezra." And Ezra's like, "No, I want to help. Fight him. I'm the one who brought him here." And Obi-Wan's, "No, no, go. Get out of here now." So, all right. Ezra did listen to Obi-Wan. And then Maul comes. Words are exchanged, and finally finds out from Obi-Wan that not only is Obi-Wan hiding himself here, but he's hiding someone. And that's what makes Obi-Wan get upset in his own way, his Jedi way. He starts in Sarisu stance, then quickly turns it up into a Taru stance, Form 4. And now we were waiting for this for, man, quite a while, like almost a year. And then the weeks before, it was just getting better and better. So we were all expecting, I think, a big duel. The duel was over in about 3 shots. Bam, 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 done. Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan just, he's so much of a master now. He knows not to just play around. He just knew what to do. Just boom, boom, boom. He knew that Maul was going to use the same technique that he used on his master to kill him. And Obi-Wan, countered it. So it wasn't a really long duel. And I was kind of saddened about that at the time. But now that I think about it, it's like, yeah, Obi-Wan is one bad boy. So Maul's dead. He's been sliced this way, not just that way, but he was sliced this way. Not all the way here and that, but I think at the chest line. And he falls down, and he kind of pleads to Obi-Wan about, is he the chosen one? And Obi-Wan goes, yeah, it's a chosen one. So he closes Maul's eyes, and Maul dies. And I believe he probably gave him a Jedi funeral, like the burning and stuff. So that is how Maul's end happens. I really like the character of Maul, and I do hope they bring in season 7 of the Clone Wars, which comes out, supposed to come out next year. Really excited about that. And yeah, I think it's going to be really awesome. We're going to have a lot of holes filled in between season 6 and Rebels. So I appreciate you watching all the way to part 3. What I am going to do after I put part 3 up online tomorrow is I'm going to throw all 3 parts together probably and put them on. So if someone wants to just watch from beginning to end, they can do that. I also want to know, what setup do you like? Do you like my wife and I doing it? Did you like my son and I doing it? Or was it fun just myself doing it? Let me know in the comments below. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you want someone else with me to do it. That's cool. I do like the conversations back and forth. It's just difficult. Everyone seems to get sick or is tired. It's 12 o'clock at night right now that I'm doing this. No one's up. I'm up all night, so that's why I'm doing it now. But let me know in the comments below what you prefer, because then at least I'll know what you want and I can minimize the other ones that you may not like. So have a great day, evening, night, and don't forget to share and subscribe. It really, really does help when you share and subscribe to us. All right? Thank you. Have a good time. Bye. You could follow us at our social media on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Patreon. Thank you for all the support.